The 1920s, also known as the Roaring Twenties, was a time of prosperity for the United States. We had just emerged victorious from World War One, and people everywhere were enjoying their newfound wealth.
Now when the Saints go marching in, now when the Saints go marching in, yes, I want to be in that number. When the Saints go marching in.
Couples could afford to go out to eat or to go dancing. Because of this, swing dancing became popular as new styles of music arose, including blues, jazz, and soul as a result of a strong black culture. The most famous jazz musician at the time was the African American trumpet player Louis Armstrong. In the 1919, the 18th Amendment was passed prohibiting the sale of liquor. This, however, did not stop criminals like Al Capone and other bootleggers from illegally transporting bottles and barrels of alcohol to speakeasies, where people who were against prohibition drank liquor freely. However, bootleggers, including Al Capone, were eventually found and arrested. On the bright side, with more time on their hands, people flocked to movie theaters as Hollywood produced the world's first talking picture. During this time, there was also amazing advances in aviation. In 1927, Charles Lindbergh made the first solo and non-stop transatlantic flight, becoming an international hero overnight. In addition, Amelia Earhart set new women's records and even attempted to circumnavigate the world by air, but she disappeared somewhere near the Pacific Ocean.
Don't mean a thing if you ain't got that swing.
On October 29, 1929, a day known as Black Tuesday, everything sank down. Many people had overspeculated and brought stocks on margin, that is, with money that is only 10% their own. They began to default on loans, causing stockbrokers to lose money. As people noticed the stock market falling, they hurried to sell their stocks, making stocks fall even faster.
It don't mean a thing, all you gotta do is swing.
The Great Depression had started. Farmers and sharecroppers were also having trouble. Overproduction and overfarming due to machinery resulted in low profits and barren land.
Makes no difference if it's sweet or hot.
At the same time, there was a horrible drought which caused giant dust storms in the Great Plains. Since the land was no longer fertile, many farming families lost their only source of income, and their farms were foreclosed.
Just give that rhythm every little thing you've got.
Thousands of evicted farmers packed their belongings and families into rickety trucks to migrate west, where there was supposedly plenty of work. Along the way, they lived in poverty, establishing shanty towns called Hoovervilles, so called because the people blamed President Hoover for the Depression.
It don't mean a thing if you ain't got that swing.
Many migrants found work picking fruit. However, since they were desperate for work, wages were extremely low. The United States wasn't the only country hit by the Great Depression. Families had similar problems throughout the world. Every town and city in the nation was having problems. When farmers and investors defaulted on loans, small banks failed. Soon, rumors that the large banks were near bankruptcy as well resulted in bank runs. Everyone rushed to get their money out before the banks failed, ironically causing the banks to fail. Many people who had lost everything considered suicide, and some even got as far as accomplishing it. When Franklin Delano Roosevelt was elected president in 1932, many people believed his proposed New Deal programs would solve the nation's problems, and those who at first doubted him soon grew to love his optimistic efforts. The New Deal programs improved conditions until the early 1940s, when World War II stimulated the economy by creating thousands of new jobs, and the cycle started all over again.